What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Two Worlds Podcast. I'm another episode of Two Worlds Podcast. I'm Jake, and with me, as always, is the goat to my trunks. It's Casey. What's up, dude?
Not much, man. You gonna buy those Fila trunks boots to go with, being the trunks of this episode?
I wish. They look awesome.
I mean, that's the one nice part is it's Fila, so it's not like you're gonna have to spend a whole lot of money on it.
Yeah, but I figure with a collab like that, it's still probably pricey.
I mean, okay, don't quote me on this, but I think it was like $80.
Okay, not as bad as I thought, but
yeah. And
still.
and honestly, I used to always love Fila's growing up as a kid. So like part of me was like, yeah. And then when I showed them my girlfriend, she's like, no, that's stupid.
I feel like that's almost everything you show your girlfriend.
A lot of times, especially shoe related, because like I like New Balances and she's like a Nike gal, so she is not feeling it.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, at least adults make my shoes.
Got her there.
Yep.
All right, let's get into our news. I think I've got maybe just one or two more, so I'm gonna take her away. But there was a lot of stuff that dropped about new Substack content this week. And so some of those, we've got Carrie Randolph and Joanne Starrer. They're going to launch two new comics on Substack. One is called Away from Here, and then the other is Sirens of the City. And then we've also got a joint project from Brian K. Vaughan and Nico Henriken, a solo project by Jen Bartel, and like one or two things from Hickman. I think he's collabing with Mike Huddleston and Mike Del Mundo. And then James Tynan IV did a surprise drop on a book called Closet. And then he announced that he's doing another one. So lots and lots and lots of Substack stuff.
And then also announced today, Tom King and Elsa Charretier are doing a romance comic. And I'm trying to find the tweet where he describes it, because I mean, I don't care if you love Tom King or hate him. It's always like the most douche-tastic stuff when he describes his books. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Where he'll be like, I break it all. Oh, here it is. Love Everlasting is a deconstruction and reconstruction of romance comics. Our ambition is to do for romance what Sandman did for horror. An ongoing, thrilling, mysterious, intimate epic that examines and pushes the potential of our medium. Plus, there's lots of kissing. So yeah, I mean,
as pretentious as always. Sounds like something
yeah. So I mean, that's something. Like, I really wish Elsa was not doing that with him, because I would actually read it if it was anyone else. But the Brian K. Vaughan one is one that I'm like, I want this collected, because I don't know if you've ever read Pride of Baghdad, but it is so good. And that was the last time I'm pretty sure they worked together. So be really good to read.
Yeah. Well, at least some creators plan on having these comics collected one way or another. So hopefully all of them are in the same boat there.
Yeah. Also, if you guys are listening to this and you haven't read Pride of Baghdad, you should probably pick it up from Comic Headquarters. It's super good.
Hopefully it's still in print.
Yeah.
All right. New Line officially greenlit a Mortal Kombat sequel this week. I didn't watch the first one. I heard extremely mixed things, but it must have done well enough to warrant a sequel.
I mean, the last one was extremely okay. I have a feeling, I'm not a Mortal Kombat, like fanboy. I like it okay, but I have a feeling if you're like a hardcore Mortal Kombat guy, probably didn't like it. But I'm pretty excited. Like, the last one was just tons of fun, and I wouldn't even say it's like if we get a tournament in the next one, that would be sweet because this last one didn't really have that. So I'm hoping for that.
Yeah. And then keeping along with movie stuff, a live action He-Man movie is official through Netflix. It will star Kyle Allen, who's in West Side Story. Uh, he will play He-Man, and then David Callahan, who wrote Shang-Chi, will write this movie. So,
I mean, not to be the type of person that's like, oh, I hate this casting, but I really do not like this casting. Like, I remember seeing watching the Toys That Made Us, and the guy was talking about Dolph Lundgren not being big enough to be He-Man. And it's like, this kid, I mean, he's gonna have to work for like 15 years, and he's already in good shape. So I'm not even like trying to say like, oh, he's gonna have to work for like 15 years, do all of the steroids, do all of the performance enhancers, just to get to the physique that is needed to be He-Man proper. Because otherwise, he's not gonna look like he should.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'd never heard of the guy, so I Googled him. I thought I don't know. He didn't really look like He-Man, but I don't know. Like, who really looks like He-Man?
Okay,
So
so I want you and the listeners to Google this guy because he's a pro wrestler and he actually played He-Man in a fan film. His name's Brian Cage. And it's like, as far as looking like He-Man or a Superman villain, this guy does.
yeah, okay.
Because
Fair enough.
I mean, he is juiced to the gills too, though. So,
Yeah.
but
Well, I don't think they're gonna get Brian Cage for the He-Man
I don't think
project,
so.
unfortunately.
How funny would it be though if that's what they did? They're like, no, this kid's just Prince Adam. We're gonna get Brian Cage, and then Arnold him, so he gets dubbed over when he's being He-Man. But all right. So my first bit of news: James Gunn stated he's developing another HBO Max series connected to the Suicide Squad. So don't know if how it's going to be connected, how it's going to work, but apparently people are really loving Peacemaker, so that's, I guess, good.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything bad from customers. Anyone that's talked about it has really liked it, so good for them.
That's good. Yep. Are you gonna watch it?
Eventually. I mean, I liked his Suicide Squad movie enough.
Yeah.
And I hear that the like I don't even know what you'd call it. The peacemaker-ishness of it is like toned down a little bit compared to the movie. And I hear that the side characters like Vigilante and all that are really good. So it
Yeah.
could be good.
Right on.
Moving right along, we got a trailer for the Paramount Plus Halo show yesterday. Did you happen to see it?
I didn't. I forgot that they were even doing one. So,
Yeah.
well, are you excited because you are, the Master Chief of this group?
I have dabbled in Halo for the past 20 years.
Yeah.
It looks fantastic. Like, I really hope that it looks that good throughout the whole show. Cortana looks a bit weird, but I do applaud them for getting the voice actress from all the games to do Cortana in the show. I think that's great. Don't know why they didn't
Yeah.
do the same thing for Master Chief. He is like Judge Dredd, never takes off the helmet. So if that's the case, why not just get Chief to voice him?
Mm-hmm.
So like hearing another voice is kind of weird. I'm sure that we'll just get used to it. But Steve Downes is iconic, so I wish they'd have done that. But otherwise, it looks like they're gonna change up some of the lore a little bit. But we'll just have to see how it plays out. It like visually looks amazing, so I'm willing to give it a shot.
Now, is it all CG or is it CG with live action people? Like, how's it working that way?
It's all technically live action. The elites are CG, but
Okay.
I mean, dang, it looked real good. So we'll just have to see how
Nice.
far that goes.
Yeah. So you know how we talked about CW like not making any money and stuff? I think I might have found a reason why they're not making as much as they should. Grant Gustin signed on for season 9 of The Flash, making $200,000 per episode.
That is a hefty amount.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, good on him, but wow, it's bad business on CW's side for having
I
one of the
wonder if
actors.
that
And I mean,
holds through. I mean, because like
I
if
mean,
all this goes down with CW, who knows what's gonna happen?
yeah, but it's like you're not making money allegedly, and you're paying the lead in a show that you've created and that you've turned into an ensemble cast show 200K. So that means you're gonna have to be paying who's his wife in the Iris. You're gonna have to be paying Iris now 200K because it's not just his 200K, it's our 200K, as she would say.
Right.
So
We are the Flash.
Yeah, we are getting paid 200K per episode.
Oh man, that was such a bad line.
There's like that show, just seeing, like I said, I've only seen clips after like the second season, and like might have been clips just picked out for how terrible they are, but it looks like it's gone downhill real quick after that second season.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Casey, did you see the little rumor that David Tennant is coming back as the 14th Doctor?
Just in our notes.
Okay. I don't really know anything at all other than lots of people online are talking about this. They reference back to that anniversary episode with all of them that were in it whenever that was. 50th anniversary, I would
think
assume.
so. Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Anyway, I don't know. I mean, Russell T Davies is coming back as a writer, so people are just seeming to think that David Tennant will be back in some form or another. So
I'm gonna say this, and it's like I don't have much fondness for Doctor Who anymore, but and I didn't even care that much like after it happened. And the more I thought about it, for David's death in Doctor Who, because it was just like they drug it on too long, and it's like they never done that before. It's you're just changing, you're not dying, dude. Grow up, like stop the crying. And so it annoyed me, but at the same time, when you spend 30 minutes on this guy dying and you're like, surprise, he's back, it's like doing like Marvel doing like a whole comic book special, 8 issues, like, oh, we're killing Wolverine, and then it's like, he's back again. It just cheapens it a lot.
true.
But would you watch it again if old Davy Boy came back?
Yes, I would. I sure would.
Right on.
The thing is I stopped watching because the writing just got so bad with Stephen Moffat there. So I'm willing to watch my favorite Doctor come back, even though I thought Davies' writing was fine, but if it's not as bad as that Moffat stuff when I stop watching, then chances are I could get back into it.
Right on.
What
So I
about
know
you?
you
Would you
haven't
watch
seen
it?
Joker, but probably not. I mean, I've heard like because I stopped watching right after Matt Smith because I was just hating it, but I was like, I like Matt Smith enough to keep watching. And then after that, and then like I have a buddy Josh, he was telling me, he's like, yeah, I started watching it with this current, the current lady doctor, and he's like, and it's like I like her. She's good, but the writing, they're retconning stuff that since he's been watching it since Eccleston, he's like they've been retconning stuff that like happened in the Matt Smith era. That's, and they're just saying, oh, we're not doing this, we're doing this instead. And it's like all this crap. And he's like, and it's just like, as someone that's been watching for so long, it's just really making me mad. So I'm just like, I don't need that crap in my life.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
But so you didn't watch Joker 1, but they're apparently going to start production on Joker 2 in 2023. The first draft of the script has been submitted to the studio. There's talks, and I don't think it's going to happen, of William Dafoe going, I really want to be in the sequel to Joker as like an imposter Joker that then has to like go toe to toe with Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, which would be super cool. But like, he would just kill Joaquin Phoenix like that. Like, I've seen William Dafoe go against Tom Holland. Joaquin Phoenix in that movie was like a string bean man. Like, he would die.
Yeah, I mean, getting him in that would make me watch it for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not even against seeing it. I just haven't. Like,
Yeah.
This is gonna make me sound judgy. I don't mean for this to come off as blanket statementy as it is, but the people that are like the Joker was fucking amazing, I'm like, okay, that's all I need to know, but I don't really need to see it like right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it's like anybody that comes into the shop and they're like, I like Harley Quinn, I like Deadpool, I like The Walking Dead. I'm like, okay, I have nothing to talk to you about. It's those kind of people. And if you
Yeah.
like those things, that's
Yeah.
fine. But I'm talking about a very specific group of people.
Yeah. It's one of those things where I think, honestly, you could watch it and you could go, you know, this isn't a bad movie, but it's also a terrible, terrible Joker film.
Yeah, I feel you. Um, okay. This was a bombshell, Casey. So strap in. Marvel is relaunching Daredevil in June with the new #1 and the exact same creative team. I know, right?
I
Very
mean,
shocking.
yeah. I mean, Zdarsky basically said that was happening when like CBR was saying they're canceling Daredevil, and he's like, no, they aren't.
Yep. It
So
still
it
annoys
is
me
what it
that they're
is.
doing a new #1. Like,
I mean,
this is so
it'll stay that
annoying.
way for like 5 issues.
Yeah, I know, but it's like, this happened with like Zdarsky, exactly, his Spectacular Spider-Man. It's like, dude, instead of two 5-issue series, just give him like a 10 or 12 issue run. That way you can say, have you read Zdarsky's run on Spectacular? And now it's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, or do you mean volume 1 or volume 2 of Zdarsky's Daredevil? Like, just give us one run if he's gonna do the whole thing. It's so annoying.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. It's gonna start up then, like after about like issue 8 or whatever, or like it'll then go back to like being 297, that type of thing, because that's
Yeah,
how they
so that they
seem to
can
do it
crank
with
out a
Daredevil.
number 300 and charge you $10
Yeah.
for it. They're
Yep.
terrible. They're terrible.
So I saw this on Twitter that this was going around. Marvel teased Judgment Day for this summer. It's an internal X-Men and Avenger crossover. They gonna fight. You excited about this as a shop owner? You think this is gonna sell like hotcakes? Because I don't.
No. I mean, it'll sell all right. It's just going to be Marvel's way of charging $5 or $6 an issue for a stupid event that isn't going to matter
And
to
it's
anything.
and it's also one where it's like we need to get like, because they did the same exact thing with the dang Inhumans. They're like, X-Men selling well because it always sells well. So let's just put them with the internals because we need people to care. But no one does because it's the Eternals.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I want people to care, but if they don't, then they don't. And you know, it seems like after all this time, they just don't. But it's
Yeah.
like, okay, if the general people don't care, but let's say the small group that really do love Eternals, should they not get a series because the majority of people don't like it? It's like they should, I don't know, like just keep their main series around, but stop with all these stupid events.
I'm just gonna say this as a Hercules fan, they don't get a series. As an Alpha Flight fan, they don't get a series. There's not enough of them.
But what if it meant Hercules and Alpha Flight did?
I mean, like again, if no one's buying it, and honestly, I don't know if I want another Hercules series after the downward turn it's taken since Dan Abnett took over.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay, Dan Waters is adapting Bowie's The Man Who Fell to Earth into a graphic novel for Titan Comics. Along with that announcement was some preview pages. It looks so good. The art is just incredible. Um, I've seen that movie a very long time ago. I don't really remember anything that happens in it. So this would kind of be like a fresh take for me, and I'll probably end up picking one up for myself. But uh, I like Bowie a lot, you know this, so I just thought I'd include this in the notes this week.
Yeah, that is interesting. It's like I bet you the only reason why he's doing it is because he's probably a fan and friend. He was probably friends with Bowie because Dan Waters seems like a weird dude, and that's the type of person that Bowie would clearly gravitate to because they were a weird dude too.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so my last bit of news, it's The Rock is doing another video game movie. He was like, I can't say what it is, but in a typical Rock fashion, he's like, but we're gonna do this. I've been playing this game for years, and I'm just a huge fan, and we're just gonna get the characters right, just like we did with Rampage and Doom, and it's gonna be the best. So, like a lot of rumors. I saw one where it was saying it's gonna be Call of Duty, which it's like Call of Duty is not like a character driven thing. So I don't know if it matters if you get the characters right, but I mean, this will lead into the Fantastic Four we got tonight. But do you have any like, oh, I think it could be this game?
No, not really. I genuinely have
Yeah,
no guesses at all.
yeah. I have silly ones that I'll save for Fantastic Four.
I look forward to it.
Actually, I will say one real one. Maybe Gears of War.
Yeah. Yeah. Is Marcus, was that the main dude?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
it's just
can
like
see that.
it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't matter much. He just has. It's like a jacked dude with a gun. It's like
Right.
The Rock's like, this is my bread and butter.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm trying to think of one for the Fantastic Four and I'm blanking on it.
I mean, like I said, like with the Fantastic Four one, it's gonna be what you want. Spoiler alert for the Fantastic Four.
Right.
So, you know,
Okay. Well, we'll come back around to that, but all right. So these next two things are so stupid. So be
great.
ready.
I'm so excited. I love the stupid news.
CGC graded 34 invisible comics. I do that in quotes for bad idea publishing. So their track record is great for bad ideas. It's literally an
Mm-hmm.
acetate cover with staples that CGC then encapsulated. So rather than grading the comics that me and thousands of others sent in 9 months ago, they're grading bullshit, not even real books that Bad Idea then takes and has sold out of, by the way. So okay, Bad Idea did this. CGC got tons of backlash from people because of what I just said of why aren't you grading the books we sent in? And also this really takes away their credibility, in my opinion. Like it's like a joke gimmicky thing that I think
Yeah.
tarnishes their name. But that's not even the dumbest part of all of it, Casey. Not every copy of the Invisible Comics come at a perfect 10. Some are like 9.2s, 9.6s, 9.8s. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. Now, like, there's like so many questions I have with Bad Idea Comics. Like, how are they making money? And then also, what are they doing with these books after they got them graded? Are they now just selling them?
Oh, sold them. Because here's the
Okay.
thing. CGC got all this backlash, and so they put out a statement to Bad Ideas saying, we'd appreciate it if you guys, wouldn't sell these anymore. And at that point, Bad Idea had already sold out of the 34 copies, and they were like, oh yeah, okay, no problem. Because they were already sold out. It didn't matter anymore.
So like this is another one of those things where it's very similar, and I compared the last time we talked about to like the NFT model, where it's like there is no value here, and people put value to them. It's like you don't have to like. There's like you're like, oh, I'm so mad at CGC. Bad idea. Take my money because I'm so upset with these people. It's like, no, if you're so upset and you don't want this crap to keep happening, have Bad Idea lose money.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do. But you're just like, you're thinking this is going to be worth something. Now you're not, it's not going to be, period. Because it's like, that's a very niche thing. And they're making people mad. I don't think people are going to be like, no, I need this Bad Idea. CGC 9.8.
It's absolutely infuriating. It's just what is Bad Idea? Are they just trying to get people to talk about them? Because like you can't get their books anywhere. You can't get their books. You can get them on eBay for like $40 a copy, but Bad Idea is not seeing that money. They saw the money from selling these stupid graded books.
So, okay, here's the crazy thing. I'm not saying this is what they're doing, but let's just hypothetically say, because they have this very like, oh, it's this much, you have to sell, blah, blah, blah. And then they do that, and then they keep some back, and then they sell those ones on eBay because they know the value's up, because people are, for some reason, valuing their books now, and then they're making money that way. But even then, just like people are so dumb, don't like, there's no part of me that's, as soon as you told me what Bad Idea was, like there's like a little bit of interest because like, oh, it's so, but as soon as you told me about them, I'm like, they sound so stupid. This book, this story is not going to be worth it. And it's also so niche that it's not going to be like the first appearance of, Daredevil or Deadpool or, anybody. So like, it's not like they're going to make a Bad Idea movie. So it's not like you're going to be able to flip that into something for like a regular person would want, that they're going to try, then they want to flip to make money on. This is like, you're going to be trying to trade it amongst super nerds, like super comic book nerds. I don't see that making you lots of money. So I don't get it.
I'm thinking in like 60, 70 years from now, coming across these and trying to make it seem valuable is going to sound insane to whoever's like listening to it. Like, so you want me to pay how much? And there's not even a book in here? Like, unless the legend keeps going for all these years, I don't see that happening. This is just a stupid, if you paid for that and you're listening to this, I think you're a fucking idiot. And that's just all there is to it.
No, actually 60 years from now, you'll be still, owning the shop, and you'll be like an old man, and then this person will come in like, I have something pretty cool, and they whip it out and you look at it and you're like, and you'll be like, oh my God, this is the first thing that led to the Bad Idea president. The first step, the first domino in bad idea president.
I know, right? But it's a piece of history at that point.
Yeah. And then you're like, here's some rubies, sir. And you hand them, and he's like, I don't need rubies. These are worthless. Pay me in NFTs. It's like, I want dead chimp 88, please.
And like the same people that are like defending this are the same people that are into NFTs. They're like, well, you just don't understand it yet. It's like, okay, I don't want to understand it. It's stupid.
Yeah. It's like, don't get me wrong, I'm not an NFT guy, but it's like I can see where there's money to be made in that because you're taking advantage of stupid people. But when it comes to this, it's like there's too small of a pool to be making money off of stupid people with. Like, at least with NFTs, you have celebrities going, no, I got, Banana Ape, and I spent like $2,000 on it. This is pretty cool stuff, guys. And then you can be like, I got, Monkey Man 7-2, and they'll be like, oh, it's like, yeah, I only did $3. You want it? It's 50 Ethereums, please.
But at least then you could be like, look at Monkey Man. With these stupid books, you're just looking at encapsulated acetate with 2 staples.
Yeah.
Who would have thought we'd come to a point in time where we think there's something even dumber than an NFT?
Right.
Anyway.
That's gonna be the name of this episode. Something dumber than an NFT.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. And then my last thing, Casey, I'm sure you saw this all over Twitter at some point this week, but there was a school district in Tennessee who voted to ban Art Spiegelman's mouse from their school. And now lots and lots of comic people and others say that they will send copies to anyone in that district who wants to read it. And I saw that after this, Mouse was back in the best-selling category on
that's awesome.
The New York Times.
Like, one thing that does really annoy me about this, though, and it's kind of like our grab your pitchforks type of media that we have now, though, it's like, it wasn't banned. They're not saying, oh, you can't read this. They were just saying, like, we're taking this out of our 8th grade curriculum. So 8th graders aren't just being taught this. If like the 8th graders were like, oh, I want to read this, then yeah. But they're like, oh, we're still teaching about the Holocaust. We're just not doing it with mice because there's cuss words and nudity in this. But if like, and then like high schoolers are still able to read it against, like, oh, they're doing this. They're gonna be like next, just burning books and stuff because it's like everything has to be compared to the Holocaust. And it's just like, it's not that serious. Like, don't get me wrong. It's like, you shouldn't just be like, oh, there's boobs in this book that's about genocide and have that be what's offend you. Like, get out of here with that. But it's also like, part of me, like, when all this news is going on, the only thing I could think of, like, after I read that stuff, I'm like, there's probably something else much worse going on. And this is what what people are highlighting because they don't want us to see this other much more terrible thing that, the government's trying to do to us that we don't know about. Because it's just like outrage culture to the max,
Yeah, for sure. And like, I doubt anybody that made a big fuss out of it even listened to the manuscript or whatever, or the recording of that meeting that was out there for the public. But it's like, it's a really good comic, and you should probably read it. I need to read it.
Like, I'm mad that I never did. It's just I never got around to it, and then it's just like, now I'm like, a little too embarrassed not that I haven't read it.
Well, hey, I know a guy that can hook you up if you ever need it. But
for sure.
But yeah, that was just like the topic of the week on Twitter.
Dude, it still is.
Yeah, I believe it. But anyway, that is the end of the news. There was some juicy topics that got us all riled up this week.
I know.
But anyway, now we'll take our ad break and we'll be back to review comics. So we'll be right back. All right, Casey. I believe you were going to shine a spotlight on me this week for the YouTube.
I am, because you are the tea master general and the coffee colonel. So you know your stuff around that stuff, where I'm very basic. It's like I drink green tea for the antioxidants, and then I will drink, medium roast coffee usually, and it'll probably be Dunkin', because I can get like a big thing of it, like yay big, for like $7 pre-ground. I know this is like just you're like, oh, how are we friends?
It does hurt a little bit.
Because like for Christmas I got the Ghidorah coffee, and it was very good, but the problem was it was a bag like yay big, and it's like $25. It's just like, no, I can just get Dunkin' at the store.
Yeah, I understand that. It's like with any drink, there's beer snobs, there's coffee snobs, there's people that drink kombucha for whatever reason, everyone's
It's
got their
good for your
thing.
belly.
Yeah, but if you have to scrape a heaping blob of bacteria off the top of it, I do not want it. Yeah, so anyway, I don't know, I guess what's the question?
Well, I mean, just run me through like how you do your coffee and your tea, like, because you said that you're mostly an Earl Grey guy, so you're not a flavored tea man.
Not Earl
like
Grey.
You don't ever go out of your. Oh, sorry.
That's okay. If we're talking teas, I go for either the Irish breakfast, just because the flavor is tasty, or my other favorite is oolong, which is a Chinese tea. Both are very delicious. I hardly ever drink tea black. The Irish breakfast is like the closest that I'll get to that, but I always usually sweeten it with a little honey or something. But or I do a lot of stevia too instead of sugar. But then as far as coffee, I am a bit of a coffee snob. I have a subscription service to Trade Coffee where every 2 weeks they send me a new bag, and then I'll rate it. And then the next one is based on the ratings I gave on the previous. So it's cool because I like to try new coffees and I get to try a new one every couple weeks. But always get whole bean. If you grind it yourself, it tastes better. And I say all this, but I will literally drink any coffee. You put it in front of me. If I want a coffee, I'm going to drink it. I don't care. But when it comes to just the stuff at home, I go with the whole bean stuff from Trade. I grind it up, either use the coffee maker or I do a Chemex, which is a pour over method. They say that
didn't you used to have the French press too, or did you not do that?
Yeah, no, I did until Grail got me a Chemex. And yeah, it's something about the oils from the whole bean that you kind of lose if it comes ground or something like that. Which, I mean, you can tell the beans have like a slick like oil on it, so you do get a stronger flavor. And I usually go with a dark roast. I'm a dark roast guy. So good stuff.
Since you're like super into coffee, when you get your own house and you have like the yard, to have a roaster set up, would you get a roaster to roast your own beans, like go like all out that way?
I don't know. I would have to look and see what all goes into that, because I really don't know. I'm going to say probably not. I'll probably just let Trade send me something new every couple weeks, because that's fun and I have to do less work.
Yeah. Well, because like the reason why I ask is because I used to listen to this one podcast, and the dude on there was like I would say like you're like here coffee snobbery, and he's like, out of the stratosphere because he had his own his own roaster and all this other stuff. And he had the monkey poo coffee, which I've told you about, where it's like the monkeys eat the coffee stuff and then they poop out the beans, and then they're like, well, now it's got all this added flavor, all this shitty added flavor, and then
Yeah.
they bag it up, and then you actually have to, like, not only are you eating poop, but you're having to roast it also, and then you have to grind it.
Yeah. It's a lot
And
of
it's a
work,
premium.
man.
Like I looked up like how much it costs, and I remember it being like insane for just poop.
Yeah. Dude, all you gotta do though, let's be real. That all came down to marketing. Somebody was like, if we tell people that this is the best method ever and really sell it, then they'll pay for it. And that's exactly what happened. I think it'd be really fun to work for some sort of roasting company, just to be around, the smell and all that stuff, just to be around it all the time, I think would be cool.
Yeah,
Plus
but
it'd be neat to be
it's one of
like,
those
I did
things.
this thing.
It's one of those things though, where it's like I have a feeling like you could get like it could be like the cool to like the super hipster douche, and it's just kind of like slowly like we'll meet in the middle to the point where like it's not cool anymore, and this guy's got like a twirled up mustache that twirls 10 times, and his name is like Apple.
Yeah. Now I get that too.
It's like he's wearing a fedora inside.
I understand that there is a type of person that does that sort of thing, but the thing that they make I really like, so I don't mind. And
Yeah,
the trade thing, it's like 10 a bag, so it's not as cheap as your huge
that's
thing
not
of
bad.
Dunkin' for 7, but also to get to try something different that, I mean, I haven't had one that I didn't like, because it's all like they ask you questions. They're like, how do you normally drink it? Black? Like, okay, how do you prepare it? Coffee maker, Chemex, French press? Do you like whole bean? Like, they ask you all these questions, and then chances are you're gonna like what they send you. Um,
Yeah,
so for just like a couple bucks to try a bunch of stuff from all over the
yeah.
US, it's like super cool.
And it's also like two things too with that, since it's fair trade, not to get too hippy dippy about it, but it's like you're giving money to the actual farmers. You're not like where my Duncan is going to, big man Duncan.
Right.
You're actually helping people. So that's pretty rad. And then
Yeah.
it's also like, I mean, I'm just gonna say this, as far as when it comes to coffee, you clearly have a better flavor profile than I do, where mine's just like, yeah, Dunkin' Colombian roast. Fill her up.
Yeah. I do sympathize with the people that aren't into the like coffee palette, because all the bags are like, oh, there's hints of caramel and blah, and
Yeah.
chocolate, blah blah blah. And sometimes it's like, I mean, it does taste a little bit different, but other times it's just like, dude, what? This tastes like any other coffee I've ever had. So I think it all just
Yeah.
depends. Like, if it's an actual quality place you're getting it from, you'll taste differences, but otherwise anybody can say what they want on the bag.
Yeah.
Dude,
And
I've got
I'll be
friends.
honest,
Go ahead.
I'm just weird when it comes to flavored coffee, because like a lot of times I'll be like, oh boy, does this taste like this does taste like, peanut butter and jelly. I'm not gonna drink this again.
And dude, that's the thing. So when I say flavored, like flavored notes, I don't mean like peanut butter and jelly or like sugar cookie.
Yeah.
I hate that kind of coffee. And I've got friends that are all about flavor. Like they order from that place. It's called Bones Coffee. Are you familiar? Where like
I've
all their
see
coffees are
that's where
flavored.
I bought that, and like I got the sample pack, and I got the peanut butter and jelly. I'm like, this is awful.
Yeah, dude. That's how I feel. I can't stand it. I'm like, dude, just, if you're gonna have coffee, just drink coffee. Why do you want it to taste like a disgusting PB and J? I don't get it.
Like I will say, when it comes to flavored coffee, and this is like the one thing that I'm like I'll get anytime I go any place that has it, Highlander's grog. So dang good.
I've had it before. It's
We
it's
had it
not my
together one
favorite.
time at that place. Yeah, it's like down the road from the shop.
Yep. Yep. It's all right. When it comes to like flavored stuff, I don't mind that. But anyway, boy, we went down a rabbit hole there.
I know, right? I bet there's like at least one person that's like, they're not even talking about my non-dairy creamer.
Whoopsie daisies.
They aren't real coffee fans if they're not putting a flower in the top when they drink it.
Oh man, I'll say this though. I know that you typically drink your coffee black, but if you ever want a little treat to yourself, pour in a little heavy whipping cream. Not much, just a little drop.
Oh yeah.
Little drop will do you, but man, it makes the coffee creamy and so tasty.
See, like that's the like when I first started drinking coffee, I would put sugar in it and that was it. Like I could never like the taste of like creamer or milk or anything like that. Like I would try like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
And then I got to the point where like people would like when I was at a restaurant, they'd refill me and I was like, I gotta get the sugar just right. And then I was like, I'm fucking done doing this. I'm just gonna drink it black and just like it this way.
Yeah. And I have no trouble drinking any coffee black or a little stevia or some heavy whipping cream or half and half. But that's the thing is like literally any way I can get it, I'll take it. I just like it. I sound like a crackhead.
Just a little bit. Like I mean, like you're like snorting the grounds, but what what like how long does it take you to make coffee in the morning, since you have like a lot more going through instead of me just do my 5 big scoops and tossing it in and starting up my maker?
Well, so I usually save the Chemex stuff for like the weekend if I'm just going to be able to sit and chill. During the week, I do use a coffee maker. But if I do use the Chemex, it's like 10 minutes max for the whole process.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because like on this other podcast I listen to, No Dunks, Lee has become a coffee shop. I think his is like he has something similar to the Chemex, but I think it's like a little bit more involved. Because like it's just like, yeah, I have to like my breakfast thing is I have to make my kids breakfast, take them to school, come back home, and I spend about 30 minutes making my coffee, and then I can finally enjoy my cup of coffee. And they're like, what's the point of this?
Yeah, I mean, hey, if that's how he likes to drink it, more power to him. All right. Welcome back, folks. Thanks for listening to the ad. If you would like to hear about me being a bit of a coffee snob and how I drink my coffee and my teas, check us out on YouTube. It's Two Worlds Podcast on YouTube, and I'll give you the full rundown. But
I'll say he's more of a coffee aficionado.
Yeah, I'm not too snobby.
Yeah, like, I mean, I think a true snob like you would have like just quit the podcast after hearing how I drink coffee.
That's true. But anyway, we'll now get to our comic reviews. Casey, I will ask you what you read this week.
Okay, so I read Aquaman the Becoming, number 5 of 6, Hawkeye Kate Bishop 2 and 3, The Crimson Cage, number 2, The Amazing Spider-Man 86 and The Amazing Spider-Man 87, Deathstroke Inc. number 5, Devil's Reign Winter Soldier number 1, Devil's Reign Villains for Hire number 1, Task Force Z number 4, Robin number 10, DC versus Vampires number 4 of 12, Wonder Girl number 7, The Death of Doctor Strange number 5, Teen Titans Academy number 11, Thor number 21, Devil's Reign 3 of 6, and Action Comics 1039. What about you?
I read the Superman and Robin special, Ben Reilly Spider-Man number 1, Static number 5, Action Comics 1039, The Flash 778, DC versus Vampires number 4, Saga number 55, Devil's Reign number 3, Devil's Reign Winter Soldier, Death of Doctor Strange number 5, Robin number 10, Wonder Girl number 7, Thor number 21, Task Force Z number 4, and She-Hulk number 1.
I didn't get She-Hulk this week, man.
Huh. Well, whoever did your pull list is a real jackass.
That's funny.
It was me.
Prob-
Remind me.
Probably Mike.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just shoot me a text tomorrow or whenever, and I'll get
buddy.
you one. But I could tell
All
by
right,
your face that
I'll
you didn't get Flash.
No, I think I might have texted you that one in like a secondary text because I was like, oh, and Flash too, one of those things. But yeah. And dude, so really quick, I went on a Comixology to read Saga since, you know, Diamond is wonderful. And they were like, every time I tried to get it, they're like, your card doesn't work for us. And so I'm like, what? Because it's like connected to my Amazon. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to see if something's wrong with my Amazon. So I bought some socks on Amazon that were more expensive than the comic. And so I'm like, okay, this is working. So I go back to, and they're like, it doesn't work. You don't have any money. I'm like, that's not true.
Dang, so you didn't get to read it?
No. But like, luckily,
that's
no one's posted any spoilers yet. So
that's good. Well, I definitely have the physical copies now that I'll be putting out this week. They just came in so late that it's like I might as well just save them for next week.
yeah. Did you let your one people know that were, you know, signed up just for this book?
Yeah.
Like you're telling me you got new pullers. Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm starting.
That was very frustrating.
Oh, dude, I know. Diamond is actually the worst, but anyway. All right, our timer begins now.
All right, so I'll start with Aquaman the Becoming, number 5 of 6. This is by Brian Thomas and Paul Pelletier and Diego Olorotegue on the art. And, you know, like Jake talked about this, I enjoyed it. It's not really like anything too crazy, but, you know, Jackson's cool. Like that's the big thing that's kind of saving this book is Jackson's pretty cool. I just wish he was with Aquaman because like that was where this book like excelled. That's where this writing excelled, and him by himself kind of being like kind of cranky, it's not my favorite. So like that's where it kind of struggles. Like he just needs someone else that's fun and cool that he can like kind of bounce off of, because it's not as much fun having like him just be serious the whole time. That's why Batman works better when he has a funny Robin, in my opinion. Or when he's funny, with Nightwing's with him and like Nightwing's being kind of goofy and he's like not having it. It just works better. And so, yeah, that's my opinion. I'm going to give it probably 5 out of 10. I do like it and I'm excited for Aquaman. And then with the 2 Hawkeyes, I'm just going to lump them together because unlike Spider-Man, they actually have the same creative team. So I don't have to be like, oh no, these are different people. But, you know, written by Marike Niakamp, I'm assuming, and pencils by Ened Baum. And yeah, I like this. It's fun. It's fun how they make Lucky very emotive. That's one thing that I noticed. Like when he would, like normally he's just Lucky. He doesn't really, show. They don't have him like drawn doing much, but like throughout this, he's like, there's times where he's looking really happy to see people. Other times he's looking cranky, and it's pretty neat that way. Story itself is kind of going all over the place. I have no idea who these clown people really are, but it's not bad. I'm not like over the moon with it, but it's still a perfectly fine book. It's nothing that I would be like, y'all have to read this. But if you're like, what's the most okay book, I'm like, this book's pretty close. It might be winning an award next year.
I know, right?
So I'm going to give them both about 6 out of 10.
All right. First up for me, I will just briefly say that Saga was great. It will be getting a 10 out of 10 from me. And I'm now moving on because I don't want to give anything away for Casey.
That's pretty nice. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
All right.
So I'll just real quick talk about Flash too.
All right.
I am jumping in. I forgot to read 777. So this is part 2 of this current story arc with like Eclipso and whatnot. But it's cool seeing the Justice League Dark people there. I didn't realize Eclipso was around doing his thing, but I do like the gym world stuff. Meanwhile, there's some stuff going on with Wally's kids. Some of it's kind of goofy, but I think it's supposed to be still pretty enjoyable. But yeah, overall, I thought this issue was pretty cool. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
Right on. I'm excited to read that. That series has been great so far. So next up is going to be Crimson Cage by John Lees and Alex Cormack. And the art in this, like the story itself is pretty great. The dialogue in it is really well, but then like the art, it's just horror awesomeness as far as that stuff goes. We get basically a murder in this one, you know, lots of blood, and he's going to get his title that he was promised. And it's good. Like I'm really enjoying it. I would recommend this to anyone that likes horror or anyone that's a wrestling fan, unless that wrestling fan is squeamish, because it's a bloody book.
I'm sure.
But I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. This is like, it's something that's very much up my alley though.
Cool. All right. Next, I've got She-Hulk #1 by Rainbow Rowell and Roger Antonio. First off, I just want to point out Jen Bartel's cover is amazing. I just adore the colors on it.
That is great. I love that one variant cover. I forgot who did it, but where it was like the knockoff of the homage to the Incredible Hulk, where it's Wolverine leaned up against Gray Hulk, but it's this is like Laura Wolverine leaned up next to She-Hulk.
Yeah, I saw that too. That was really good. But yeah, this is cool. We get some Titania action. There's some Wasp in there helping out Jen kind of get back on her feet. And you know, she's trying to get back into the swing of things, being a lawyer and whatnot. And as she's finally winding down and relaxing at the end, somebody pops in that I certainly wasn't expecting. And they kind of fall over asking for her help. And that's how it ends. So it was a really, really good first issue. I really don't have anything to complain about. For some reason, it's not quite a perfect 10, so I'm going to go 9.5. But it was a really solid start, and I'm definitely going to keep going with issue 2.
Nice. I'm excited for this book. Like Rainbow, like this is the type of thing that she should just kill. So I'm pretty, like I have pretty high expectations for it.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go with the Amazing Spider-Man 86, and this is by Zeb Wells and Michael Dowling on the art. And yeah, I mean, lots of crazy stuff happening with the Beyond Corporation. There are a bunch of jerks that are liars, and they mind wipe Ben, and that's, you know, it's basically kind of showing like, oh yeah, this corporation isn't that good. Yeah, basically. And this is a really good issue. I really, really liked it. I'm going to give it a 8.5 out of 10. Then this next one, it's 87. And this is by, okay, it says Zeb Wells on the inside with Carlos Gomez on the art. The cover, it's saying McKay and Gomez, though. So who knows? But yeah, this is good. Like it's got Black Cat and Steve trying to train Peter how to, you know, web sling and stuff, because last issue Captain America accidentally hit Peter in the face with his shield. So he's like, oh, we need to make sure you know what you're doing. And so yeah, he's trying to train and get this stuff going, and it's pretty fun, pretty neat, but it just kind of struggles with like the last issue ends with Ben Reilly losing all of his memory, and then this one it's like, oh, hey Pete, you know how to swing your webs, and then they kind of go back to Ben a little bit, but it's just like, and the Beyond stuff, but it's just like, you guys could just be doing 2 books, Amazing Spider-Man and Spectacular, and this would work so much better, and you'd make the same amount of money because they could still be coming out the whole month. You could have every day be Spider-Man, every week be Spider-Man week. So that's annoying. But yeah, this is an 8 out of 10 too. It's just good. It's just good stuff.
Well, hey, speaking of Spider-Man, Ben Reilly Spider-Man #1. It's written by J.M. DeMatteis and art by David Baldeon. This was pretty neato. It's been just starting over again. I don't know. Okay, so this takes place 5 years after the Clone Wars, or the Clone Saga, and JM does a good job of giving you all the info on the characters that he's talking about. There is a lot of like exposition, but it's needed here in my opinion, especially if you're not super familiar with the characters. But anyway, we get some fun stuff. And then at the end, it looks like we're going to deal with the Scorpion, which is one of my favorite Spidey villains. So that should be fun. But the art is neat, and I like where they're going with this. I wanted to read a Spider-Man book. I just don't want to read a thrice monthly title or one by a creator that I don't really care for. So I sure do like J.M. DeMatteis, and he's doing a good job with Ben Reilly here. So this gets an 8 out of 10.
So I have to ask, why is it just like the design that you like with Scorpion? Because like what has he done story wise that made make some of your favorites, or is it just design?
When I was a kid, I thought he looked awesome, and that's all it took.
Right on, dude. Like I thought he looked kind of cool, like the one from like when we were kids, but then that redesign from that series that we were reading, that was like, in my opinion, like it just like amped that up to about a 10, as far as designs go, which it's like,
yeah,
it'd make it harder to make a toy off of them because it's so much bigger, but boy, it looked cool.
It did. And another big thing is when we were kids, I had Spider-Man 1 on N64, and that first mission, you're racing across the rooftops to beat him before he gets to JJJ. And I always just thought he was kind of menacing and cool in that.
Yeah. Like I remember like one of the first comics I got, because a lot of the other stuff I was reading was dad's. I got a subscription to Spider-Man, and like the cover, it's like him and like Scorpion fighting each other. It was pretty dang cool.
Yeah.
But so next up for me, it's gonna be Deathstroke Inc. with by Joshua Williamson and Paolo Pantalina on the art. This art is just very 90s, but it's like the colors are helping, but it's like 90s in kind of like a non-fun way.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's
That's
like,
not
this is
great at
Liefeld
all.
inspired art. Yeah. But I mean, at least like Black Canary's face, it looks pretty good there. But then like Deathstroke's face is just like, it's just all jagged edges, very Liefeld like, but yeah, and then like it's revealed that there's this big, this society of villains, and it's all like Count Vertigo, Monocle, Phobia, Dr. Moon, Dr. Destiny, Deadline, Prometheus, the Tattooed Man, Shrapnel, Body Double, and then it's led by the Calculator. So it's kind of like, the C+ team of villains that are leading this group, and Libra's there, like she's the one that's kind of like behind this whole ink thing, that they're the group they were in. And then I'm just gonna spoil it because it's stupid. Deathstroke shoots Calculator, like he shoots Libra, who Libra's like should be able to take down the Justice League, like that's that character's design. Shoots her, kills her, and then shoots Calculator in the head, and he's like, sounds like you guys need to ruler for this society. He sits down on the throne. He's got his sword, and like this. Here's the thing.
Okay.
So it's pretty lame. This book, it's just one of those things where it's like, I want to love you, make it better. So yeah, I mean, I probably had a 4 out of 10 on this. It's not ideal.
Yeah, it sounds like at least some customers in the shop too that he's kind of just writing this one in, and pun intended, I guess.
Yeah, like some people, like the people online are also often like, this is really a Black Canary book with Deathstroke in the title, so it sells. And even that I don't buy, because Black Canary's not, she's not really a focal point, and neither really is Slade. Like the story itself is trying to be the focal point, and that's not a good story.
Right. Okay, so got the Superman and Robin special. It's written by Peter Tomasi, and then the pencilers are Victor Bogdanovic, Daniel Henrique, or no, just Bogdanovic. The others are inkers, my bad. But yeah, this dude reads just like Tomasi Super Sons. Like, it was a delight to read.
Nice.
And like there's one part where Damian talks about how stupid it is that John is older, and it's just like, ooh, Tomasi is not hiding his feelings for this at all.
Yeah.
Which, more power to him, because Bendis took his thing and kind of ruined it. So but anyway, it's goofy fun. There's like a creature that got let loose inside of the Fortress of Solitude, and Damian and John go there to take care of things. So it also has a callback to Tomasi's Rebirth Superman run, where John and Clark go to that dinosaur island where the losers are. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Oh, no, you're talking about. I can't think of the name though.
Yeah. But anyway, some of that bleeds over into it as well. And this whole time, Damien, to like survive the Arctic and also to fly there to the Fortress of Solitude, he's in that like black and red metal bat suit that Bruce designed to go to Apocalypse. And then at the end, to fight a bunch of Nazis from that World War II dinosaur place, he and John are both in suits like that. John is just in a Superman themed one, and it's so goofy because it's like he doesn't need that. But this is just supposed to be fun stuff for younger readers, so, or all ages readers. But anyway, it was cool. And at the end, it has Damien saying, basically, I'm glad we got to do this. I miss my friend. And John says, I miss you too, buddy, but we'll always be super sons. And that was pretty nice. So nice. Anyway, I really liked it. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
Something I'd like to see sometime. And it's like kind of ruins the point of the Super Sons, like the funness of it. So like Tom Taylor might do it. But if they do like a future one when like Damien's Batman, and like he's like the kind of like fascist, kind of mildly evil Batman, like he was in Batman 666. If they do that, and like then it's also the light of John and like how they interact, they're all themselves, I think that would be pretty cool. But like my main problem with that is like when Spectre was talking about John and his future path, it's like this one could be evil. So it's like, oh, okay, maybe they'll just be like, yeah, let's murder people together.
That could be.
Okay, so did you read Teen Titans Academy?
No, I think I'm kind of done with it.
All right, so then I'll talk about that next. This is by Tim Sheridan with Afa Sandova and Jordi Tarragon and Brent Peoples all on the art. And I'm going to show the cover. Red X revealed.
Oh,
Now,
I
here's a fun
did read
fact.
this. I did read this because of your fun fact. I know exactly what you're about to say.
Yeah. Fun fact, he isn't. They lied.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I was on the fence about getting this, and I pull it out of the box and it says that. So I stood right there and read the whole thing, and I was like, wait a second. I go back and make sure. No, I didn't miss it. They just straight up lied on the cover.
So my theory on this, and it might be wrong, it's like how I would complain about Green Lantern, how it was like the cover did not like was like the wrong issue, like they just did not put the covers right, you know. I think they just had to have done the same thing. Like next issue is going to be the reveal, is my guess.
Yeah.
But so what do you think of this besides them, you know, being liars?
Dude, it's just more of what I said on the last issue. It's fine, but stuff that's just dragging out and not really getting explored. And I don't know. It's lost me, I think.
I like this one more than the last one, but there is still the very big issue of like them not exploring stuff enough. I liked when like there's a lot of stuff to like about this issue, like when the actual kids that have been training are trying to keep the tower up while the people are still inside. You know, we get some GG action in this one, our favorite. But which it's also revealed that he is not going to be Red X, which is just a shame. Maybe that's the reveal. They're like, it's not Gorilla Greg. But yeah, so I mean, Titan Sour kind of explodes, and Billy says some nice words, and it's kind of, this is also kind of showing like, oh, this is why Mary Marvel's going to take over as the new Shazam, since he's in, you know, the Rock of Eternity. So it does that. But yeah, I thought this was a much better outing than the last one. I liked it more than you, clearly, so I'm going to give it a 5.5 out of 10.
Okay, I'm at like probably like a 4 then, if that's the case.
Yeah.
All right, Static number 5. It is written by Vita Ayala and art by Nicholas Draper Ivy. So yeah, Static and his friends are busting out the other Bang Babies from this facility, and Static finishes up his fight with Hotspot or whatever he calls himself. I'm blanking on it right now, but man, the art is just so cool. I just love the art. Incredible stuff.
That is awesome.
But yeah, then at the end, a few of them were like, we didn't want saving, and those guys offered us a pretty good deal to stick around, so we're going to do that. So now there's really like a I don't know, almost like a civil war thing that's about to go down with the bad guys and the people that Static and them sprung out. So I really like where it's going. The art's incredible. I like how Static is written, way better than he's written in Icon and Rocket. But I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I really like this book.
Right on, man. Okay, so my last book that I read that we didn't read together, I'm pretty sure, is Devil's Reign, Villains for Hire. And this is by Clay McLeod Chapman with Manuel Garcia on the art. The art in this is pretty great. You get this new Thunderbolts team. They're not the best at working together, but you know, taking down punks, like just these like kind of terrorist thugs, it's pretty easy to, when you're these guys, to kind of, you know, kill them all and not have to worry about it. But then it kind of shows how US Agent joins them. And like we talked about before, like since he's joining them of his own free will, and like he shows up at the end, he's like, oh, I'm going to join the team. So I don't, like, first off, not sure when this takes place, because like in Devil's Reign, he was there from the beginning. So it's like, I don't know, when Kingpin decided that he had these guys on call and was using them, but then they finally showed up in the other, but whatever. Yeah, and then, but the fact that he just decides, I'm going to join Kingpin's task force, he's not being forced into it, does not seem like him. It really just doesn't. From like the very little of his that I've read and the little bit of knowledge that I have of him, it does not seem accurate to this character. And that's really annoying to me. I was hoping that if they were going to at least explain it, it'd be like, oh, they have, a kid hostage and he just has to do this, or, whatever. Or he's being promised something that, whatever. But it's really not. It's just kind of like, no, we watched Falcon and Winter Soldier and he's a jerk. So there we go. This is what we're doing. So, but it's fun. I think you might enjoy it because Tasky's pretty fun in it. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's probably just a 5 out of 10 thing too. It's nothing outstanding. It's just kind of like, oh, this is a book. The art in it's very nice.
I might read it then if Taskmaster's in it. I guess I didn't really realize the full scope of it. I was just like, am I really gonna get sucked into all these darn tie-ins again?
Yeah.
I will let you choose the reading order.
Okay, so I'm gonna organize them up really quick. Oh shoot! I just dropped that right on my computer.
We can start with the two
we'll
Devil's
go-
Reign if you want to keep on all that together.
That's not important. I like to separate by company more because I'm weird like that.
Okay.
I think this is gonna do it. Okay, so let's go. Task Force Z, Devil's Reign, Winter Soldier, Robin, Thor, DC vs. Vampire, Doctor Strange, Wonder Girl, Devil's Reign, and Action Comics.
Okie dokie. Okay. Task Force Z number 4. It's written by Matthew Rosenberg and art by Eddie Barrows. As you know, Casey, because we talked about it earlier in the week, but I really like this issue. What did you think?
I really liked it too. I think I have a feeling you probably liked it more than me, but I still really enjoyed it. It's just dumb fun, really.
Yeah.
I'm really curious as to what old Flower Face is doing, what he's up to,
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. Okay, so I already told Casey, but I just love how Mr. Bloom is written in this. So I tweeted at Rosenberg this week to let him know. And he responded like he liked my tweet, but then responded with a very cryptic gif of a flower blooming. So I don't really know what that means, but thank you, Mr. Rosenberg, regardless. But anyway, the part that just made me like giggle out loud is who is it? Deadshot comes in and they're talking, and then he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go, mostly because you guys creep me the hell out. And Mr. Bloom just goes, okie dokie, take care. And he's just like such a freaking weirdo, dude. And then goes to like stabbing this freaking body in the head. Like he's so weird, but he's the most interesting character in this book because we don't know what he's doing, who he's serving, or anything. But anyway, I thought it was really cool. Two-Face is getting his opportunity pulled out from underneath of them. And then at the end, we kind of see their replacement team. And I wanted to get your thoughts on that team versus the regular Task Force Z.
I like the team. My only problem is Grundy doesn't work there at all, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because it's like Grundy's just a zombie. If you give him more of that stuff, what you don't have any control over him that way, like That's his thing, is he's a dead zombie that comes back to life. Like, I don't think this is gonna work too well in your favor. What about
Yeah.
you, man?
No, I thought it was fun. That I mean that in the middle is KG Beast, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the only person that I can't remember his name is the guy at the bottom, like the snake
Let
dude.
me look. Oh, Copperhead, isn't it?
Copper. Yeah, yeah, that might be it. And then Zaz and a lady scarecrow. So but it's pretty neat. I'm looking forward to seeing the two teams interact in the next issue, but clearly somebody wasn't telling the truth when it came to who's running the show here. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that all
Yeah.
plays out. Um, but yeah, honestly, I love this. So I don't have much to complain about. So 9 out of 10.
I'm about 7.5. I like it, but it's not gripping me as much as it's clearly gripping you, man.
Oh, it's gripped me.
Speaking of things that have gripped me and may make me buy Captain America book, which I don't want to, Devil's Reign Winter Soldier #1. And this is by Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly with Nico Leone on the art. Any major thoughts about this?
Uh, it was okay. I didn't like the art very much. Or well, I don't like how Kingpin is drawn very much. Uh,
Yeah, I get that. I like the way they did the style though. It kind of
yeah.
gave me like the red, white, and blood vibes type of
Hmm.
thing, you know?
Yeah, I agree. It's neat that the idea of the mission was neat. I love Winter Soldier. The story itself was just like okay. I mean, it didn't really tie in a whole lot other than just a mention of what's going on with the Devil's Reign stuff, but it was fun. I'm not mad that I read it.
I mean, I thought it tied in pretty well because it was just trying to get, the files, like, because he found out about the files and he was trying to get, Kingpin's files. The files are the whole reason why Kingpin's upset. And then,
Well, he
and that
just
this whole
mostly
thing's
wanted to make
happening.
sure his info wasn't out there, right? The fact that the other files
Well,
were
it
there
was,
was just part of it.
well, he knew that Kingpin had a file on him and he wanted his file to learn about it. Like, that's why he's like, I'll buy it from you. I don't care. And then when he gets the file and it's like even more information than what he's like, this doesn't make any sense. This isn't, like, this is like from when I was a kid before I was even in World War II and all this stuff. And it's like, I was really interested. And then he's like just now out to kill these people. And that's my main problem. It's like to be continued Captain America #0. So it's like, am I gonna have to read Captain America as like, and this just for the backup Bucky stuff, or is the Bucky stuff gonna be like the main story?
We'll have to read Cap Zero to find out.
Yeah, right. But now I'm at an 8.5 on this. I actually liked it a good bit.
I'm at like a 5. And that's not like in a bad way. It was just like whatever. I read it.
Yeah.
Then we've got Robin #10. It's written by Joshua Williamson and art by Roger Cruz. Um, yeah, we got some weird like time stuff going on. Dude, the only thing that like made me laugh, and I don't know if it was meant to, it's like, why'd they have to draw grandma so hot?
That's what dude, we're on the same wavelength. I was just like, boy, Robin, your grandma got hot. Like
Right? Like
that
it's
that
crazy.
Lazarus pit did her well.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder what would happen if they tossed in an Uggo in the Lazarus pit, if they come out hot or not.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, it was a fine book. We're getting away from the tournament stuff, which is less fun, and into more of like a serious story. I think they're setting up that Lazarus War or whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
But I still very much enjoy what I'm reading. So what were your thoughts on it?
I thought it was perfectly fine. There wasn't much like with it being like the weird time stuff. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, here we go. More of this stuff. My main irk with this whole series, it's Damien doesn't have his mask, and then like the last issue, he just did circles around his eyes, kind of showing how stupid his mask is anyway. But everyone there should know this. The son of billionaire playboy Bruce Wayne is Robin. So it's like, oh well, there goes his secret identity, like that's just annoying. Then the story itself didn't do much, and then now we're gonna get Raish in the next issue. It might be cool, but it's just felt like a little bit of explanation filler. It didn't really bring much to the table. There wasn't much meat. Like this was like mashed potatoes if that was a comic.
Yeah. And I wonder if it's gonna be, sorry, I have to say Roz, if it's gonna be cool Roz stuff, or if it's gonna be more of him being like a hippie. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I bet there'll be probably a little bit more hippie Raish, since that's the way that they're going with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of I'm not gonna stop reading it anytime soon, because it's still enjoyable, and there's like stuff I want to know about it. And they're also kind of, to me, this is how you kind of set up a character where like I'm interested in knowing who Respawn is, but it's not like annoying like Titans Academy is, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
where
it
it's
absolutely
like,
does.
honestly, you could keep the Respawn thing going, where it's like kind of guessing, kind of not knowing, or not even guessing, just not knowing who he is. Keep that going as long as Williamson has like the idea who he wants it to be. But he doesn't tell us for like years, and I'm not going to care, because it's not I guess it's just because it's not the forefront of everything where they keep teasing it. It's just kind of like, yeah, who's this guy? Oh, it's Respawn. I don't know who he is. This type of thing. That would work. It's just as soon as you start trying to push it to the forefront, like, who is he? Maybe next time you'll find out. Oh, no, you won't. That type of crap, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm probably at like a 7 out of 10 on that one.
I'm at 6.5. Pretty close, same as you.
Okay.
Okay, so next up, it's Thor, issue 21 by Donny Cates and Nick Klein. And I want to hear all of your thoughts on this one, because that's what I thought of as soon as I read it, because I enjoyed it. But I'm like, Jake is the one whose opinion matters on this, because he is a Thor boy.
Oh, man. Here's the thing. The whole time I'm reading this, I'm like, this is so stupid. This is so stupid. Why are they doing this? It's terrible. But then Donny Cates ties in stuff with with Jason Aaron, and it's like, hey, Mangog was thrown into the sun a few years ago, and the hammer was thrown into the sun, and now it all kind of makes sense and isn't quite as stupid as I thought it was going to be. So you got me again, Mr. Cates. I like Mangog. Always thought he was a cool villain. I'm going to flex that I have Mangog's first appearance. It's one of the coolest covers. So it's cool to see like a Mjolnir infused Mangog coming. I think that's going to make for a pretty awesome fight. Man, the stuff with Odin though is just pretty lame, which is a bummer, because Odin should be way cooler than this, but he's mostly just there to yell for a couple pages, and sometimes he does like one cool thing per issue, but I don't know.
At least he was better this issue than he was last issue, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, no, by the end, my tune had changed and I'm back in it. But you said you liked it too.
Yeah, I did too. Really quick, is there like a more Jack Kirby character than Mangog? Like just the design alone. Like, is there someone that you're like, I mean, this is like at least at the very least top 3 most Kirby designed characters out there.
I'd say apart from Fin Fang Foom, probably not.
Yeah.
Because dude,
But
that
no, I just,
cover of his appearance is he's just so big and goofy. Like, gosh.
but yeah, no, I loved it. I loved how they sent the hammer away, then it shows back up, and just yeah, the art is really cool. You don't get all of the daddy issues that you got in the last issue, which was just like, boy, all of that crap was mostly pointless, if I'm being honest. This was just so much better than the last issue. Like, I thought the action was cool, and then that big reveal was just awesome. Like, I'm not even a Thor fan, like real like that. Like, I like him, but I'm not like, oh man, this character from this arc, oh, but I'm still just like, holy crap, I know who this is. This is awesome.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Props to him for like actually coming up with a crazy new idea. I mean, let's be honest,
Mhm.
most people just recycle stuff that Walt Simonson did, but this is a original idea, and it sort of brings back a cool character that they tried to kill off. So I'm all in for Mangog Mjolnir.
I'd love to hear Kat Denning say that.
Mangog meow meow.
No, it did just be all meow. It's like meow 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 meow.
meow meow meow. Yeah. So what would you rate it?
I'm at a 9. I really, like I said, I really like this one. I thought it was really good, and it's like also just I was so down on the last one, so I was like not looking forward to reading this one, and it just like caught me by surprise. It was nice.
Yeah. I will say 8.5 then, strictly because I was like, for most of it until the very
Right on.
end. And next we've got DC versus Vampires #4. It's written by James Tynion and Michael Rosenberg, and art is by Otto Schmidt. I think there was lots to like about this issue personally.
No, I hated the last issue, and this one was awesome.
Good.
Perfectly. I think that's a great summary. Like, Tynan and Rosenberg do a great job of writing all of the characters. My favorite was Constantine and Zatanna. I don't know what you thought about that, but I thought that was great.
No, it was great. It was
Yeah.
hilarious. And also, Otto Schmidt drawing Dr. Fate is incredible.
It really is. And then I loved Ollie and Batman together. I thought those two were written very well. Like, the part that kind of drug for me that I wasn't super hot on was the Grodd fighting, vampire Grodd fighting Batgirl and Jason. That wasn't my favorite. Like, that was like my least favorite part of this whole book. Everything else was, I thought, really well done.
Yeah. So I wanted to say that I love, speaking of like Ollie and Bruce, just the good news is I didn't set it off when I came in, so whoever is coming now isn't better than me. And Batman had to get that jab in there where he's like, or they don't care that we know they're coming.
Yeah.
It's just like, dude, you always have to have the final word. It's hilarious.
So one question, because I have a feeling the JLA haven't been turned yet, except for Hal and Wonder Woman. That's my thought. And if that's the case, Superman would have talked to Batman first. That's one thing that does annoy me about this. Unless you can say, oh no, I don't think he would. But because I have a feeling they're gonna, the big reveal is they're gonna be, oh, they haven't been turned. But it's like Superman wouldn't have just been like, okay, Hal, who's been kind of acting weird, and Wonder Woman, yeah, you two are right. My best friend. And Batman's like, we're not best friends. It's like, my best friend murdered Barry. Okay. Like, he would at least talk to him first, because that's how he is. So
okay. So I took it like this. He was trying to talk to him right here. I think he heard one side of it, came in here and said, remain calm, we're here to help you two. And then Bruce was like, Ollie, it's go time. So I think that they started that way. It's just Batman didn't let it get to that point.
And also, though, Batman is so dumb in this, because it's also, he could just be like, holy water, go, and then like all the ones that
aren't vampires would be like, why are you splashing water on me? Just like how, Batman was with Ollie.
Yeah.
And then they'd be like, oh, and then Wonder Woman would just be burning. And like, the only one that wouldn't be affected is Green Lantern because he's got the shield up, but Wonder Woman just burning. They're like, did you toss acid on her? They're like, no, that's holy water. She's a vampire.
Yeah.
And then they're like, how did you know? And then he just starts sweating. He looks like Jordan Peele,
But he would say no and everyone would believe him.
Yeah. I mean, until Batman goes, no, he did it. And they're like,
but yeah, this one wrote me back in for sure. I'm actually at like a 9 on this one. I really liked it. The only part that I didn't like was what you said, the Grodd stuff.
It's just like, and it wasn't really like that was bad. Like Jason seemed kind of off to me, but it was just kind of like, oh, this was just kind of tossed in just to show that these are the generals or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm at about an 8 for it. I liked it.
All right.
Okay, next up, it's going to be The Death of Doctor Strange, number 5. And this is by Jed McKay and Lee Garbett on the art. And what did you think?
I mean, it was pretty good. I mean, some things were wrapped up very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I unfortunately, without even trying, had it spoiled weeks ago who became Doctor Strange. I hate that about the internet and the comics industry in general.
Yeah,
before this event is even over, they're like,
they already showed the cover. Like, it was so dumb.
And like, I follow Art Germ on Instagram, who is doing a cover for the new series, and he was like, well, since the cat's out of the bag, here's my cover. And like, I still hadn't seen spoilers, but at that point I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, even if the cat's out of the bag, like, at least wait till the week after it comes out.
Mm-hmm. But anyway. I like it. I don't, having her be the new Sorcerer Supreme doesn't work for me, just because she's the Sorcerer Supreme of the Dark Realm, they said. So it's like, I would have made Wong the new Sorcerer Supreme, because it's like, I think that works better because he doesn't already have double duty, and then it's now just, and also like synergy with the MCU and all this other stuff. It works better that way, in my opinion. But I like Clea.
Yeah, I think that if they're smart, Clea's series will deal with that, like repercussions of that, and I hope that that's the route they go. But we'll see. If not, then I agree, it's really stupid.
I loved the young Strange's, what he was doing and all that stuff, like his whole plan and stuff. I thought that was cool. Were you a little disappointed that Ilyana wasn't in this more, since she's one of the main, like, they show her a good bit, but they don't use her much?
Yeah, I was really let down, if I'm honest. And also, I was hoping from the get-go that she was going to be the one to take over. But
you'd have the same problem, since she's, Sorcerer Supreme of the Limbo verse or whatever.
I still wanted it.
I know. It'd be hilarious, and I know it's not. But if like that's not a sword she has, it's like an actual thing to like, so people can do the Limbo, and it's like her verse is just like this really, like, just kind of like a cruise ship where people just do the Limbo all day.
Yeah, that would change my opinion of the character.
Hold on, sorry. Yes, Marvel? You want me to do a magic series? Sure.
How did they hear that in real time?
They have the house bugged.
Right.
But I also loved how they brought Doctor Strange back for the 5 seconds he was back. I thought that was pretty just genius.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was good stuff. I mean, do you think he'll be back by the end of the 5-issue series? It's going to be the new Doctor Strange.
No, I think it's going to be more like, it's going to take a little bit, but end of the year, probably Strange will be back for good.
Yeah. Well, what would you rate this issue and then the series as a whole?
I probably had a 9 for this. And then as the series as a whole, with all the tie-ins involved too, that some of the ones I didn't get to read and all that too, or just
Yeah.
Okay, then probably like sadly a 7 because some of those tie-ins just were kind of mediocre at best. What about
Yeah.
you?
8 for the issue, 6 for the series. Like parts of it, when it was good, but when it was bad, it was real bad. So
Yeah. Did you ever get to read the one by Cy Spurrier?
dude, they say it's still coming. So like I plan on it. It's
Yeah.
just anyway. All right, and then we've got the final issue of Wonder Girl, which is Wonder Girl number 7. It's written by Joelle Jones and art is done by Layla Del Duca and Jordi Belair on the colors. Yeah, I liked this. I think it was a bit silly that that the only reason all the fighting stopped was because Cassie was like, "Grandpa, I'm your favorite. Won't you stop?" And then he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I guess I will." But I also blamed some of this on them just canceling the series on Jones. So
Yeah.
who knows? But really, I think there was more to like than to not like.
Yeah, it felt really rushed. I thought the part with Zeus was pretty funny since Zeus just kind of was like getting tired of this crap, and then Cassie's like, "Hey, aren't I your favorite?" And he's like, well, "I don't know about favorite." To like clearly his other grandkids, you know.
Yeah,
So I'm like, I really enjoyed those aspects of it, but it just felt rushed. It just felt like it was kind of slapdash together more than anything else.
yeah.
But I thought it was perfectly fine. The art in it is, as always, really great though.
Yeah. And it says to be continued in Trial of the Amazons, which all of you already know that I'm going to check out. So hopefully that's good.
Yeah, what like I mean, is Nubia the only Amazonian branch of DC that you're not reading regularly?
Uh, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I tried.
Yeah.
But again, I'll ask you to rate this and then the series.
I'm gonna say 7s across the board.
I'll say probably an 8.
Right on. All right.
Okay,
So
we need to
hurry.
yeah, we're getting close.
Okay. So next up will be Devil's Reign, and this is by Chip Zdarsky and Marco Cicchetto. And yeah, I liked it. We get some, superheroes doing bad guy stuff in this. It was a good time. What'd you think of it?
I like this series. I think it's cool. Ock's weird team. I have lots of questions about,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm actually really digging this. I know that you've been kind of so in the last few issues, but as someone coming in fresh, I am digging it and I'm looking forward to more.
I mean, my main problem with this whole arc as a whole is it's just Civil War, but this time all the good guys are friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, that's so like you're taking away the most interesting part of Civil War, and it's just like you're just having heroes fight the bad guys, but the bad guys are the government, so it's just whatever.
Yeah,
But this was cool. I'm at an 8 for it.
I'm also at an 8. And finally, we've got Action Comics 1039. And this was written by Philip Kennedy Johnson. And we got spoiled because all of the interiors were done by Riccardo Federici. And this creative team did Last God. So if any of you guys reading this really liked the world building and some of the like myth behind this stuff, check out Last God. It's so good. But anyway, Casey, I liked this a whole lot. What did you think of it?
I really enjoyed it. The art in it is just too good, and I love that Steel
is like working in the forge to make her own weapons. Like I love the fact that the guy that's doing the chains liked her good enough that he was just like, like just chatting with her because she's just a tough warrior. And then he's like, I'm gonna bring you on I'll see if I can bring you on as an apprentice, basically, because
Right.
he just liked her. I thought that was really, really cool. And then we get see the stuff Midnighter's doing, and that's pretty neat. And it's just, and even the backup story is awesome. Like this was just
Yeah.
great.
For once, backup stories we don't mind being in there.
No, this is like a really good backup story, so it's pretty rad. But what about you? Like some of your main thoughts on the main story and the backup?
Oh man. I mean, the art just it speaks for itself. And again, like I said, he's really developing some lore with like the war zones, like the blood priest just being full of crap and inventing a language that hopefully we'll get to decipher so that Superman can use that to help everybody. And the fucking burial ceremony for this last creature was just cool, and Superman is sad about it and wants to help. It's just like I don't know, man, everything about this is great. We've said it 1,000 times. Philip Kennedy Johnson knows how to write Superman, and when you get to throw in some cool like lore and world building stuff with Riccardo Federici drawing it, I mean, it's perfect. And then it looks like we're gonna get to see some cool Apollo stuff pretty soon.
Yeah, that Apollo pick like at the end looked so cool.
Yeah, it's just insane. And then I like the backup a lot. Martian Manhunter, the way he talked to that kid Justin at the end, like these guys aren't your friend, but I'm your friend. It was just everything about it was great.
And that's by Sean Aldridge and Adriana Mello doing the art.
Yeah.
And I love the part too with when he's like eating with his biggest fan and like he's got the milkshake, and he like it's just hilarious to me that him eating a milkshake, Martian Manhunter.
I know, but man, that's just like so true to the character.
Yeah.
It's great. It's really great. But this is an easy 10 across the board for me. I love this issue.
I agree with the 10 also. I will say the one thing that does annoy me is the villains that show up in the Martian Manhunter one. And this is like a very specific, like, oh yeah, I'm kind of annoyed by it. But they're very much Court of Owls feeling.
Yeah.
And I mean, are they like, since you're a Martian Manhunter expert, are they like anything at all in the Martian Manhunter stuff? Because like I said, just Court of Owls is all I was getting.
They sure could be. If I've seen them, they weren't very memorable. So.
I gotcha.
But yeah, now we'll get on to what we're excited for next week. Casey, do you have the list up, or do you want me to go?
I'm pulling it up right now. I had it up and then I got rid of it because I'm a knucklehead. So you can go ahead, man. While I get it up.
Arkham City, Order of the World, number 5 for sure. Man, there's a lot of good stuff this week. I could say Daredevil, Woman Without Fear, probably Dark Knights of Steel. But I want to give a shout out to Monkey Prince. I just want to see if that's good or not.
I bet it's going to be good, but forgettable.
Yeah. Gene Yang, though. And man, I think it's going to be like 12 issues.
Nice. Okay. So for me, I'm going to say The Thing. Oh, where was the other one that I had? I was like, oh, this one for sure. One Star Squadron and Daredevil, Woman Without Fear.
I could also throw in Batman because the last couple of that have been great too.
So. Yeah, for sure. Okay, and then now it's time for the Fantastic Four, and we already talked about it, but for video games, you want The Rock to make a movie and star in. So like it can be as stupid as you want.
Well, the one I was trying to think of, maybe you can help me out. It's right there. I'm gonna feel so stupid whenever you say it's this. I think it was Super Nintendo, but it's 2 guys with guns and it's a side scroller.
Contra?
Contra. Yes.
Okay.
I knew
I was
you'd
hoping when
get
he
it
said
right
two
away.
guys, I was gonna be like, the Mario Brothers.
It's like, oh yeah, how could I forget? The Rock is Mario. So yeah, Contra for sure. The other one that came to mind really quick was Metal Slug. I used to love
Nice.
those games.
I loved them, but I was so bad, like
Oh, they're
incredibly
tough.
bad.
They're really tough. Also this one's like really stupid. Mega Man. I want the Rock in the cover art, costume.
Yes.
And then oh gosh, I have no idea. There was a game that I'm pretty sure only our friend Mike and myself ever played, and it was on Sega.
Vector Man.
No.
Oh, I knew that was that was a you and Callan game, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. I think it was called like Double Saber or something like that. Oh man, it's killing me. It's killing me. But anyway, it was just uh like a neo, futuristic thing where the two characters used essentially knockoff lightsabers. But it was a super fun game, and I think it'd be hilarious to see The Rock in that suit as well. So
Nice.
those are mine.
All right. So my first one, very stupid. Well, all of mine are very stupid, so just be prepared for that. It's going to be Missile Command. So you got missiles coming, and he's like taking the turrets, doing all this stupid, stuff to get it, blow up the missiles before they hit. And Rush would be the theme song for sure. And then Frogger, but live action. So he's just like furried up as a frog trying to get across the street.
Oh gosh.
And then I'm trying to think of like another really like that would be because I only had 3 in my brain. So I'm trying to think of another really stupid one before I get to my favorite one that I thought way too much about. Let's just go Pokemon. He's Ash. Kevin Hart is Pikachu.
Oh gosh, dude, be careful or that's gonna happen.
And then my number 1 would be Pac-Man. And he plays both Pac-Man and Ms. Pac-Man because Ms. Pac-Man still just looks like Pac-Man. She just has a bow. So he's just yellow, naked, eating ghosts and pellets. And then he runs into his future wife, Ms. Pac-Man, who has the same name as him and looks exactly like him.
Wow. I mean, sign me up.
How funny would it be if that was he's like, I played Pac-Man ever since I was a kid. Love this. I'm going to do the characters right.
That's amazing. All right. Well, hey, let us know in the comments what you want to see the Rock star in, because boy, we would very much like to hear it.
Yeah. And hey, I'll do that when we get to the actual, when you say our YouTube, I'll say what they need to comment too.
Okay. Well, hey, that leads to the closing plugs, folks. If you would, go to facebook.com/twoworldspodcast and give our page a like. I'm not sure why at this point we'd never use it, but
yeah, I've been posting.
Okay, well, good.
Yeah.
Good. You can also find us on Twitter at 2_worlds_PC, where I would like to point out we have been given a shout out by Little Caesar.
Yes. Last week, I'm a liar. I was like, I'm not going to try the new Batarang pizza because I'm on a diet. And then me and the girlfriend were together, and I was like, she's like, I kind of want to eat this. And I was like, I want this. She's like, well, you get that and this. I'm like, okay. So I ended up getting the Batarang pizza. It was delicious and so greasy. It's like, when you sit in like a sauna or like you work out really, really hard and you're really sweating, like you lay on the floor afterwards and like you get up and there's just a sweat angel. That's how that was of grease in the box. Like you take it up and it's just shaped like the thing. It was so good, but also I'm like, boy, this is gonna just be a terrible mess here after a couple hours.
That's funny. Glad you did it though.
Yeah.
Anyway, can also find us on Instagram at Two Worlds Pod. You can email us at twoworldspodcast@gmail.com. And also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. That is Two Worlds Podcast over on YouTube.
Leave us a comment. Tell us how you like your coffee.
Yeah, I genuinely want to know. But yeah, we'd love to stay in chat, but we really have to go practice our fusion dance. So we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye, guys.